All right, guys, we're going to start our unit on transformations. All right, I'm just going to give you a quick overview, but because all this is just a refresher to what you already know. All right, so transformations. First, let's start with the definition of what transformations are. When you hear the word transformations, just think of the word, the movie Transformers. What are they constantly doing in the movie? They're changing from being a car to whatever robot they become. So transformation just means to change something. All right, so there are specific ways to describe how the figure is changed. The transformations that you're going to learn about are going to be a translation, a rotation, a reflection, and a dilation. Okay, so translation, rotation, reflection, dilation. These are not all new. These are not new words to you. So I just want to give you a quick refresher on what they mean and how you transform the shape in accordance to those rules. All right, before we get started, very, very important for you to know. It's common practice that when you're naming your shape, you use capital letters. But really more importantly is once you've transformed the shape, it is going to have the same letters that the original one had, only with the prime symbol. So the prime symbol is that little tick thingy at the top. All right, so if you transform the shape 2 times, you're going to have 2 tick marks on each letter. 3 times, 3 tick marks. 4 times, 4 tick marks all around. Also, really common practice is they refer to this as a pre-image. Pre meaning before. All right, so pre-image, so the before image, what it is originally, and then this is the image. So there's pre-image, and then there's the image. So the image is what you get after you've done the transformation. I'm just going to say that again because it's going to be really big on questions. This is the pre-image, the image before you do any transformation. It's called a pre-image. And then you're going to move on to the image that's after the transformation. All right, so just real quick, let's just refresh our minds on what the different transformations are. Let's take a look at a translation. A translation, when you look at a translation, I just want you to think of the word a slide. All it is sliding. You're literally taking the shape, whatever it is, and sliding it to the right, left, up, down. You're just sliding it. So because you're just sliding it, the shape didn't change. It's the same shape, the same size. It's just in a different place. It's just in a different place than it was before. So that's a translation. Translation is a slide. All right, a reflection, okay, when you see the word reflection, I want you to think of opening and closing a book. Opening and closing a book. All right, so let's take this book, for example. I want you to literally think opening and closing the book. Now watch, when I close this book, do you see like how every point is going to fall right there? Even this 3 is going to fall there. All right, opening and closing a book, okay? With a line of reflection, which I'm going to refer to as my spine, so the spine of the book, okay, a line of reflection. And what it's going to do when you fold the book is every part of this book is going to fall the exact place as it is here, just on this side. So it's going to fall like this. So this is going to go here. This on the outside is whatever all the way is on the outside is going to go all the way on the outside here. All right, so what that looks like basically is that you have your spine or your line of reflection in geometry, and what I want you to picture is you fold in the book right on that spine and watch what happens with the image. Okay, so this is actually important because I'm going to have you use this to check your work. So I'm going to put it up. I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Do you see what happens with the image? Look. Do you see how it falls right into place? Right? So it falls right into place because a reflection is an opening and folding of the book. Opening and folding of a book. The line of reflection is the spine where you actually fold it. Okay, so that's a reflection. Some real world examples, really, they're just flips. So if you look in the mirror, do you see how it just flipped over? Here's a bridge on some water. It's just a flip. It just folds into place. All right. Last one we're going to take a look at is a rotation. When you look at the word rotation, I want you to think of a turn, okay? Turning. You're turning is a rotation. You're turning in different directions. Oh, and by the way, also, real quick, with the reflection, the shape doesn't change. It's still the same. When you look in the mirror, you don't change. You're still the same. You're just flipped over, okay? Same thing with the rotation. You just turn in the image. It does not change in size or shape. It's the same one. It's just turned around. All right. And when you look at rotation, there are going to be 2 things that you need to know. which direction it's turning and what the center is. But thankfully in the EOC, all your center is going to be the same, so that's great. But it's just need to know clockwise is to the right, like a clock. Counterclockwise is to the left. All right, so that's just a quick, brief overview. Let's get actually to see what some questions are about. All right, so we're going to take a look at translations. All right, these are basically the notes that are going to tell you how to do the translation. So it says plot the points, write down the points. So it says translate QRS. So it says plot the points, write down the points. So we're going to plot the points, which is 4. This is always X before Y. So we're going to go 4 and then 1. That's Q. Label them as you go. 1, -2. 1 and then -2. That's R. S is 2, then 3. That's S. So now once you have it labeled, go ahead and just join them. If you don't have a ruler, just use a, line of best fit. Okay, now I've plotted the points. I don't need to write them down because they're already written down. Number 2, X coordinate is left. It means to go left or to move left. And X coordinate is left and right, subtract and add. Y coordinate is up and down, subtract and add. So if you're going left, you're subtracting. If you're going right, you're adding. If you're going down, you're subtracting. Going up, you're adding. Translate the points. Slide the shape or add and subtract from the X and the Y coordinates respectively. All right, so this is what it tells you. This is telling you this is the X coordinate, and I'm going to -3 to the X coordinate. This is the Y coordinate, and I'm going to add 3. So there are 2 ways that you could do this, and I'm going to show you both ways. I'll do it with a picture first. We're literally going to take this shape, and we're going to subtract 3. And remember, subtract means we're going to the left with the X. So I'm going to move the shape left 3. And then I'm going to move the shape +4, which says with the Y coordinate is up, because adding is up. So I'm going to move this -3 and +4. So you can literally go -3, so I move point S, -3, and then I move it 4 up. 1, 2, 3. I ran out of space, but I'll put it right there. That's my new point S. Okay, and I'm going to do that to every point. Move it to the left 3 and up 4, 2, 4. That's point Q. Now this last one, Q prime, I'm sorry. This last one, instead of moving it physically, I'm going to show you how to do it with numbers. So do you see how it says I'm going to subtract 3 from X? Well, I'm going to look at each point, so I haven't moved R. So I'm going to look at point R. And it says from the X coordinate, I'm going to subtract 3. So I'm going to say 1 minus 3, which is -2. So I'm going to go -2 on the X. And then on the Y, it says -2, and then I'm going to add 4. So -2 plus 4 is +2. So I'm going to go -2, +2. And that's going to be my R prime. And I can check it again, because again, I'm going to slide each point 3 to the right, to the left, sorry. 3 to the left, which is negative, and then up 4. And look, it's the exact same point. So you could do this, using, just adding and subtracting basically, or you could actually physically do it. I'm showing you both ways because you need to know both ways, and then just pick the one that you want. All right, so this is my new shape. I've translated my new shape. That's my new shape. Now, notice, it is exactly the same shape. It is just moved, okay? It didn't twist, it didn't turn. Looks exactly the same size, same shape, same everything. Only place it's different in a different place. So I moved it to the left and up. And that's it. That's how you do a translation. So it says plot, write down new points. So I plotted them. And if the question was, what is point R prime? Well, point R prime is now -2, 2. So I'm going to go ahead and, since it says write down my new points, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Q is now 1 and 5. And S is now -1 and 7. Okay, that's basically a translation. Now I'm just going to show you how I could have found S without actually physically moving it. Again, remember point S prime, S prime is 2, and then I'm going to subtract 3. So 2 minus 3 is -1, so -1. See, it's on -1 on the X. For 3, Y coordinate, I'm going to add 4. So 3 plus 4 is going to be 3 plus 4 is positive 7. So negative 1, then positive 7. And that's how I get my coordinates. So it doesn't matter what the question is, whether the question is saying graph it or what is the Q prime. You can use either one to find out what it is. And that's basically a translation, is just a shift.